This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Tuesday? It is The Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. Your home for the Alabama Crimson Tide on SI. We appreciate everybody who's jumping in and joining us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, on the Bama Central Facebook page, on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither6. You can find us there, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, right like that. Or you can find us on your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon. We appreciate it. If you download, rated, reviewed the show on your favorite platform, you can go right in there, hit the three dots, hit rate, go ahead and hit 5 stars, and it would make me feel so good. We appreciate everybody for joining us on this Tuesday. Let's get this bad boy rolling today with Mason Woods. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. You follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Worked very, very hard at the Home Depot yesterday. We missed him. We had his replacement, his substitute, Theo, talking about the New York Giants. This show will not be revolved around New York today, but instead Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to have a lot of fun talking a little draft. We're going to be talking a little transfer portal. We'll talk a little 100-man versus gorilla, the internet conversation that has taken over, oh my gosh, all corners of my internet, every corner of my internet. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about Darian Reed going to Oklahoma and much, much, much more. But without further ado, good morning, Mason. How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Good weekend. A little tired after yesterday, but hey, ready to get in here and have some fun this morning. Not have to work super hard physically. Just put my mind to work this morning.
You like constructing big play sets yesterday?
I built a full 8-bedroom mansion, 6,500 square foot. Yeah.
Make sure you go to Home Depot up there on Veterans Memorial Parkway and check out Mason's big time work. Mason, yesterday we spent time with Theo, and he was all just giant, juiced out, just excited for the New York Giants. You had the number 1 overall pick. We talked about Thursday's first round on Friday. You can recap it if you want to, but really take us through your whole weekend with the Tennessee Titans and how you are. Where are you landing your plane with this draft?
I mean, I think like most people, I'm happy. It's not many people come away from the draft being like, oh, my team did terrible, unless it was so blatantly obvious. Everybody wants to find the silver lining and talk their team up. And, immediately after you hear the guy's name called, you go watch all his highlights, obviously. So, he's the best player ever. That being said, though, I do feel good about a lot of the individual guys Tennessee got. Obviously, Cam Ward, 1 overall. I was not super high on him for the longest time, but I do genuinely I think he's going to be pretty good. I feel pretty good about it.
All the videos that have come out in the last week with Cam Ward and Shador going back and forth, it looks like two different sides of this choice is clear. This choice is very obvious. Continue.
Yeah, I think the Titans, and it started with Cam Ward at pick 1-1, really prioritized like character guys, high character guys who you read about them, all their draft write-ups and everything. It's like, oh, this guy was a great leader. This guy was a, great character guy, whatever, no issues. I think that was a big thing with the Titans. I don't know if that is stemming from Mike Borgonzi taking over now, bringing that over from Kansas City or what. But
they cared about character in Kansas City?
I don't know where that's necessarily coming from, but it seems like that was a big part of their draft process here. I love Gunnar Helm in the 4th round. I think that was a great pick. That was a guy I was intrigued by the Titans need another guy at tight end. They have TK Okonkwo, but he was
up and down.
Yeah.
A lot of down.
Yeah. Impressive as a rookie, took a step back. I think it had a lot to do with quarterback play, so maybe that will get a little better this year. I'm not expecting a ton from him in terms of like a bounce back season, but just to do at least a little better than last season would be good with me. I love Alec Ayomanor just because of the one game I saw where he absolutely torched Colorado and Travis Hunter for 294 yards. So that was pretty sweet. Happy with that. Jackson Slater, I think, is going to be a good player. I saw a lot of people talking about him being a pretty underrated prospect in this class. So potentially probably could be a guy that within the next year or two should be a starter on the offensive line. And then as far as free agent signings, I think, and I'm still not positive how you say this guy's name from Florida. I think it's Chimere DK. Maybe I'm wrong. I looked it up a couple times and I still can't remember it. Extremely fast. Guy runs like a 4.32 or something, I think. So we'll see what they can get out of him. But they got some good free agent signings. I mentioned right before we started recording Xavier Restrepo. That's the one I'm most excited about. That was the guy who, I watched multiple games of his this season because, as you know, we were covering Miami for a point in time throughout the football year. That was part of the Walsh Writing Network, the Miami Hurricanes on SI side. It is no longer. But while it was, I watched a fair amount of Miami throughout the season. And that guy was so good. He was so insanely good. And I thought the whole year, obviously he's a smaller guy and it was never going to be a burner speed wise. So I figured, second, third round pick.
40, 4.65 or something.
4.8.
Oh,
yeah.
Keep
Ran
going.
a 4.8 40. So I did read a lot of, and obviously everyone says this after they run a slow 40. Oh, there was some injury issues and things. I did read that. So take that as you will. Take it with a grain of salt, I guess. But I don't know. Like I said, I watched a lot of this guy throughout the season. I don't think he actually runs a 4.8. He seems to be a little faster than that when he's on the field. And he is one of the most crafty, shifty, get open any way he possibly can receivers that I watched in college football this past season. Had a fantastic chemistry with Cam Ward throughout the whole year. He's the Miami single season, I think, reception record holder. And then he also has the career receiving yardage record at Miami. So, a really good player that I was shocked to see fall out of the draft like he did. But hey, I'm really happy the Titans went and picked him up. I was seeing some things. I think Cam Ward was basically calling them up every day after he got drafted, every hour after he got drafted, to be like, "You're going to see, you got to go get Restrepo, got to go get Restrepo." And they finally went and got his guy for him. So I'm happy about that.
Tighten up.
Yeah, we are tightening up. Okay,
all right, good.
Yeah, probably. Delusionally so, but we will see. This whole Warren Moon giving Cam Ward number one, that is, I'm worried about that because boy, that could be bad. Now it has to go well,
right? Do you wish that he would have got the Lawrence Taylor treatment? Lawrence Taylor said, "You ain't wearing my 56 Abdul Carter."
That was very funny.
Well, he's
insane to even ask Lawrence. I understand your franchise you get drafted to has a legendary player at the same position with a retired number. You want to maybe test the but Lawrence Taylor, the guy that played his entire career on crack, I don't think he's going to give you that number, buddy. He's insane. He has no interest in giving up that number. That's the wrong person to ask.
He apparently said, "Go make your own legacy."
Yes, and do that, Abdul Carter. Man, no,
You talk about fan bases, though. I might have said this yesterday. I think I did. My Bears group chat is completely split. You got my end of things, optimistic. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see how things go. Yeah. This might work out. I like these players. And the other side is, we drafted luxury picks. We didn't need these guys. We needed those guys. We needed these other positions. And why didn't they take this position? And I'm just like, guys, you're exhausting.
Loveland's a great pick.
You're exhausting me.
Yeah, he's going to be fantastic. I think, especially with Cole Kmet on the other side being still athletic, but certainly less athletic of the two. Kmet will be probably reserved to the more blocking role, and then give Colson his chance to go out there and catch some balls and get yards after the catch, because he does that really, really well for a tight end.
It's going to be a lot of fun this year. I think really my optimism comes in Ben Johnson. We trust. Sure. And so if Ben Johnson wants to make these picks, which I think at least the first two picks were all Ben's choices, then I'm good with it. We're going to have a little Believe in Monsters podcast tonight, and I will tell you, Lucas Berry, my co-host, I'm going to try to make him cry. I'm going to try to make, because he's over the weekend, just every pick that went by, oh, why? They could have had that guy. They could have had that guy.
That's what everybody's saying.
And I'm just like, brother, we're the Bears. We stink. If all these picks end up being bad, our lives are not changed. We're still going 4-12, and we're used to it. But maybe they're good, and then we go 9-7. Great.
You never know. Hey, look. Nobody ever knows. It is the draft is a complete crapshoot, and even the guys who say they know, they do not know. Weekend was a prime example of it, with Mel Kiper throwing away every bit of journalistic integrity to talk about Shedeur Sanders for 4 straight days.
Mel's got it so good in this business because he just pops up once a year and says, "Here's my draft board," and we always we've done this with Mel before. Jamarcus Russell. We've done this
Jimmy
with
Clausen.
right. We've done it, but we just forget about it every year, and then ESPN rolls him back out there like, come out of the cryo chamber and
Here's this
talk
guy
about the
that doesn't
draft.
eat any vegetables. It's like his whole thing. Doesn't eat vegetables.
I just don't care what he has to say
It's
about
like
any
carrot
of these
cake
picks.
once a week or something.
Right. I don't about any of these picks. Like, you've clearly been a mediocre evaluator your entire life. You've never been on the side of I'm actually making the pick for the Browns, the Broncos. Like, he's never been in a front office. It drives me absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
So we're going to sit here and talk about, he needs to not be back on next year. We're going to have amnesia for the next 10 months, and then he's going to pop right back up.
Yeah, he'll probably who's he going to latch onto in this quarterback cycle? It's not going to be Arch Manning. It'll have to be somebody else because he's always got to be the odd man out.
Well, let's look at it because that is on my list today. 2026 drafts, and it's really specific to Alabama players. But as you asked, there's quarterbacks here. You said it's not going to be Arch. Okay. Do you like him to get attached to Cade Klubnik from Clemson?
Oh, that's the one. That's the one that Mel's going to love.
Or the Nepo baby, he's got a relationship with Garrett Nussmeier's father, and Garrett Nussmeier becomes the belle of his ball. You got Sam Levitt from Arizona State, also projected here in the first round. Drew Aller, Penn State. Let's go.
Garrett Nussmeier is a good one.
Lenore Sellers at 26 here. Those are the quarterbacks in the first round, according to Dalton Wasserman, Pro Football Focus.
If the way Mel talked about Shador was anything to indicate, he will not like Lenore Sellers very much because he's not a pocket passer like he thought Shador was.
It's Garrett Nussmeier.
I think you're correct. Yeah, my first initial knee-jerk reaction was he'll like Cade Klubnik, Clemson guy, stick with Dabo, whatever. He'll get all wrapped up in that. But no, Garrett Nussmeier. I think you hit the nail on the head there. That's going to be Mel Kiper's guy.
Because what I
call it now, he's going to be overrated. Mel will sit there for 4 days talking about why isn't some team. I'm disgusted with the NFL. The NFL doesn't know. Clearly, they don't know what they're doing when they're evaluating. You don't know what you're doing when you're evaluating quarterbacks, Mel. Reese Davis had to put him in his place for a little bit there. It really just got so out of hand with him this weekend. Golly.
What I really think happened was Mel knew Dion for a long, long time. And when you know a friend and that friend has a son or daughter, look, I've got friends with sons and daughters, and I think the world of them. Do I know those sons and daughters? Not really at all. I know them for the 5 minutes that I see them every so often.
Yeah.
They're kids. And obviously, we don't need to have a relationship. It's fine. That's not appropriate. That's not what I'm trying to say. But the point is, I see the best of those kids.
Yeah.
Mel probably saw the best of Shador I'm Shador Sanders, of course. And then he sat back in the circle of conversation for 5 minutes and didn't say anything. And they all walked away. And Mel thought, that was a nice kid. What a nice young man. And you get the best. I think some of these relationships cloud your judgment. Maybe didn't you get the report, Shador didn't take his draft interviews seriously. Oh, that's not the Shador I know. Every time I talk to Shador, he treats me with respect. He always yes sir, no sirs me, and puts his playbook face on.
It was
that's my theory.
No, I think you're correct. It was just absurd. It was so it was funny to watch a little bit, just being like, is this guy gonna shut up? Shador saying, but at the same time, I wanted to hear about the other players. I would have loved to hear about the first overall pick in the NFL draft, Cam Ward. I know we talked about this last Friday some, but good God, they spent all of 30 seconds talking about Cam Ward, showing his highlight package, and then immediately cut to Mel. Well, I just think Shador should have been the pick here. Shut up. We knew for 3 months he wasn't going to be the pick there.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. All right. You get the Titans juice out of your system?
I think so. I'm a little one more. I am a bit concerned, and I don't know really how much fuel there is to this fire. But our Titans second round selection, Oluwafemi Oladejo, might be part of some religious group that's been banned from college campuses. So we'll see. Who knows? As I have read, it's some sort of Christian adjacent group.
What is it, Westboro Baptist Church?
I don't
or whatever?
know what it
Did I
is,
just make that
but
up?
I read one report from a draft guy that just mentioned it and threw it out there as if everybody knows about this. Didn't provide any other context for it whatsoever. So I tried to read, I was not really able to find much context other than one student newspaper from UCLA about this organization that he's been a part of and how it's helped him grow. They didn't name the organization once in the article so I don't know what's going on. I don't think it's anything, but man, that would be perfectly Titans to just draft some guy that winds up never even playing for you and ends up being like a cult leader or something. That would be pretty Tennessee of them.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at some of this. Definitely there's a little juice here. I just typed in God's plan, growth, mindset. Olufemi Oladejo's truth comes up. I guess he went by Moses in middle school. Great. So I always hung around people who are older, interesting lover of sports. Come on. Biggest win of his eyes against USC.
I think there's a little bit of there was enough there for it to be put into someone's draft write up. So I'll continue to dig and see if I can find more about it. But it seems like the information is a bit scarce on Mr. Femi Oladejo.
Looks like he has a close relationship with Matthew Rodriguez.
I could not find Matthew Rodriguez anywhere. I tried for 2 hours.
Leader of campus ministry. Okay.
I went through a dozen different LinkedIn pages trying to find any bit of is this that Matt? I don't know how many different Matthew Rodriguez's I looked at that I could not verify one way or the other if they were that Matthew Rodriguez.
All this has is not so far. It's not giving me Baptist. It's not giving me Presbyterian. It just says the campus ministry,
which is just strange that I am hearing reports that it's part of a group that's been banned on campuses, and then this article doesn't want to name it specifically by name.
The ministry. All right, great. Olufemi Oladejo, go out and make some tackles, buddy.
Good football player. Was misused and then really only got to play edge rusher for 1 year at UCLA, but showed a lot of potential. I think given the opportunity to get with a coaching staff that knows how to utilize him well, he could be a pretty good player in a year or two.
All right, Mason Woods, dealer's choice. You haven't been here in a couple days. Which way you want to go? You want to go basketball, Darian Reed, LeBaron Philon? You want to go 2026 mock draft? You want to go DeBoer on everybody transfers out? Or do you want to talk about spring grades like Dak did yesterday?
I think we'll stick with the draft talk. We'll go 2026. I do want to ask before, though, did y'all get into yesterday the prank call saga with Shedeur Sanders and Jax Ulbrich and half of the internet wanting this kid to go to prison for the rest of his life, and then the other half acting like he's perfectly fine. He's done nothing wrong in this situation. Why would you even punish him?
No, we didn't talk about this, but we can make it very Alabama-centric and bring the people in, because it wasn't just Shedeur Sanders and Tyler Warren, but I watched a prank call from our old friend Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond gets called. Hey, who was the team? I cannot remember who they spoofed.
Let's see if I can find it.
Maybe the Panthers. I can't remember, but the guy was definitely an Alabama guy, and he hit him with a roll tide at the end, and. No, it's Falcons, right?
I think it might have been. Yeah, I think you might be right.
And he goes, "Oh, we're gonna take you with our next pick." And Isaiah Bond's like, "Oh yeah, you getting a good one. You getting a good one. I can't wait." And the guy's all right, roll tide, ha ha. And Isaiah's still on the hook a little bit. Goes, "Roll tide," and kind of laughing, trying to "Oh, okay," and then hangs up. And it's like, oh,
that's been the most eye-opening thing with me with these prank phone call videos is how scared they are on the pranking side of the phone to actually say, "Psych, buddy, we got you," because they're all too scared to actually do it, because they immediately hear the guy's voice on the other, and they start to panic. Their heart starts to beat really. He picked up. I'm the guy with the Falcons, and we're gonna draft you. Roll Tide. If you were a real man about it, you'd have been like, "Psych, buddy, you're an idiot. We got you, Shedeur, dummy." But no, they're all too scared to do it. It's very really just paints a picture of what types of people these guys are. I was not a Shedeur fan, still am not a Shedeur fan. It's sad that happened to him.
Yeah, I hate him alone.
Yeah, you don't got to kick the man while he's down. Ridiculous.
I'm not going to say that the Falcons DC should be fired and the kids should go in jail or anything like that.
Saying, but take a draft pick, come on.
That maybe
a sixth rounder.
I could go with that. You got
to take a compensatory pick.
Right. I could go with a very light punishment like that, but if I am that father, I am just What are you thinking, son? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Messing with these guys, messing with my job, your college.
Hey,
fund.
buddy, you know what? You know why you're playing D3 football? It's because your daddy coaches for the Falcons. It's not because you're good at football.
Right? Oh, ridiculous, insane. And so let's take this to the Isaiah Bond direction that I didn't get into yesterday. I saw so many over the weekend. Well, the reason Isaiah Bond and Amari Niblack didn't get drafted is because they went in the transfer portal. You better learn. You better learn. Not go. No, that is not why Isaiah Bond didn't get drafted. Isaiah Bond didn't get drafted because he can't control himself off the field.
Yep.
Because he ran into problems off the field and exacerbated those problems by trying to cheaply pay off the people that he wronged or allegedly wronged. Allegedly wronged. The NFL would have taken him in the fourth round, in the fifth round.
If he was good enough.
If he didn't have that off the field incident, he was probably a third, fourth, fifth round pick.
I mean, Mike Green got picked. You know, second round pick.
Yeah.
2 pending allegations against him dating back to his time in high school.
That guy's a monster, though.
If you're good enough, the NFL will take you. Isaiah Bond, you were not good enough, and you had off the field issues. It has nothing to do with you leaving Alabama.
People been going that route. Oh, it's because, dude, Isaiah was an average wide receiver here.
He made one nice play, like a couple nice plays.
He led the team that year.
Back stretch of the season.
Right. He led the team that year in receiving, but like
with like 900 yards.
Yeah, let's
come
do
on.
that. Let's do that. Let's do that. I think it was like 47 receptions for
Yeah, I mean, like,
for
it
not
was
even
nothing.
1,000 yards. It was like, guys, we've been sitting here crying about wide receivers. Right, exactly.
Because technically he was, not because he solidified himself as the alpha of that room.
How about this for wide receiver 1? This is painful. 48 receptions, 668 yards, and four times in the end zone. Yeah, you did get in the end zone for Gravedigger. You got in the end zone for the slant and go against Tennessee that year. 2 massive touchdowns, of course.
Probably asked for a raise after both of them.
You scored 4 dang times, buddy.
Oh,
and so people are using him as the example of grass isn't greener. Like, maybe he got to Texas and Sark realized, oh, you weren't that good.
Dang, I wasted a lot of money here.
Right. You were above average at Alabama.
You don't really care about football.
Right. You just want to drive this Lambo around. Mm-hmm. It isn't about him leaving. It's about him not caring about football. And he didn't care about. I would venture to guess. I would be bold enough to say that he didn't care about football when he was in Tuscaloosa either. I don't know if I talked about that third category with you.
Yeah. I was just about that. Yeah.
No, with Katie last week. Right.
He was probably her prime example.
Yes. Third category, red flag off the field. Okay. Injury issue. Doesn't love football. Well, Isaiah,
triple threat, buddy.
You're in 3 of these, buddy.
Yeah,
no wonder you didn't get drafted.
Had nothing to do with him leaving Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Plenty of players transfer. Plenty of players could get drafted.
Where'd Trey Amos get drafted?
Cam Ward. He was in his third school, folks. Like
Trey Amos, is he a Commander now? Is that what the internet is telling me? He was a second round pick by the Commanders. Transferred out of Alabama to Ole Miss and got drafted.
Yep, bingo.
It's up to the player. It's not about you have Tuscaloosa. You gonna learn, buddy. Well, maybe you might, but you might go to a place and play well enough, like you're Trey Amos, and still be a second round pick.
On the Isaiah Bond same train, though, Trayshawn Holden and Ja'Cory Brooks both went undrafted as well. It doesn't have anything to do with their time in Tuscaloosa. They just weren't good enough to be in the NFL. I think Ja'Cory Brooks might be.
Ja'Cory's going to. Has he been picked up yet?
I think he did. I want to say.
Go ahead. I'll look it up. Go ahead.
I do believe Ja'Cory Brooks is good enough to be an NFL wide receiver. Trayshawn, the jury's out on, but both of them went undrafted in this year's draft.
Ja'Cory is a Commander as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
UDFA Commander.
That's a pretty good pickup, I think. I was surprised, very surprised that he especially didn't get drafted. I thought for sure he'd be a early day 3 guy at the worst.
Was it Cam Sims that went to the Commanders from Alabama a handful of years ago that was always a bottom end of the roster wide receiver, but then ended up stuck around, got some paychecks with Commanders.
Yeah. So
people just use any news, any story to reframe it the way that, of course, if you left Alabama, you ain't getting drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you could if you do the right things. Just like you have to do the right things here in Tuscaloosa to get drafted. Drives me absolutely nuts. Just the Just the way the people's relationship with the truth drives me nuts. Okay. What about 2026?
2026.
Mason Woods, Dalton Wasserman on the 27th, so 2 days ago, puts out his first official mock draft for 2026, and one Kadyn Proctor is the number 1 overall pick to the New York Giants. The Giants need. Oh, sorry, Evan Neal, we didn't pick up your fifth year option because I don't know what's happened to you, but you stink in New York. And so we need a left tackle to protect our Jackson Dart. Kadyn Proctor, number 1 overall pick. I tell you that 3 years ago, and you say what? How does that thought really? How does that thought evolve over the course of the last 2 years?
I mean, I guess if you told me 3 years ago, I'm thinking, yeah, that probably checks out. And then 2 years ago, I'm thinking, I wouldn't maybe say 1 overall, but certainly a first round pick, probably a top 10. And then if you're telling me this over the last 9 to 12 months, I'm thinking might be slipping out of the first round, but good, solid tackle prospect. Definitely not going to be the top overall prospect in the draft. But hey, still has the ceiling. And I think that's kind of where we're at now, where it's this guy still has the ceiling to be number 1 overall tackle prospect, be one of the prospects overall in the draft. We just have to see him reach that ceiling. We have not really seen it. You've seen it in spurts. You see it in small flashes here and there. But I think we've got to see him put it together for an entire season.
All right, here's from several different draft analysts. Josh Edwards, CBS Sports, Kadyn Proctor at 13 overall to the Dolphins. Blake Brockermeyer, we know you, Blake, of CBS Sports, 11 overall to the Kadyn Proctor to the Seahawks. Michael Middlehurst Schwartz from USA Today has Proctor at 4 overall to the Giants. Brent Soblewski. Ooh, that's difficult. Sobleski. Soblewski, Bleacher Report. Kadyn Proctor, 5 overall to the New York Giants. Dane Belbeck, The Score, 4 overall to the Browns. Kurt Popejoy from DraftWire has a 9 overall to the Giants. Gavino Borquetz from Newsweek, last one, has him 3 overall to the Giants.
Seems like a pretty fair consensus that he's just going to be a top end of the first round guy. And I think that's about where I would probably project him right now. And if he plays at the level we think he's capable of, I think he certainly can solidify himself as a top 3 to 5 guy.
I agree with that. I think that if he plays well, his physical traits,
some team is going to,
right.
I mean, Mekhi Becton,
if you don't get hurt, my friend, and if you don't do anything strange off the field over the next 12 months,
please,
then I think that you probably will be a top 10 pick. Yeah, I'm game with that. Top 10. I mean, Armand Membu came from nowhere and skyrocketed up and became a top 10 pick.
The NFL is hungry for good linemen.
Right. Will Campbell, short arms, we still take you top 5.
I think he's going to be a dog.
Yeah, he's got the mind. You don't want to be in a dark alley with him. Fighting over
that man's going to be a Patriot for the next 18 years.
He told Coach. He told Vrabel, yeah, I'll die on that field for you.
Love that.
Don't worry, he'll let you. Mike Vrabel, he'll let you.
Did you see the report that Vrabel and I don't know I just kind of heard this on a podcast, so I don't know if it maybe that the person that said it got fooled by false report, but allegedly, Mike Vrabel took it upon himself to get in some pads himself and get his hands on Will.
No.
and get a feel for him himself to decide that he wanted to draft him. I don't know how true that is.
I believe it.
I would believe it from Mike Vrabel. No one else, but I would believe it from him.
Ridiculous. I'm sure he thought, I'll figure it out myself. I'm sure he did. What is he, 46?
Something like that. Him and Dan Campbell are probably the only two that I would believe that story about.
Mike Vrabel is 49 years old. What do you think? What do you think Will Campbell's like? Do you sandbaggy on him?
Yeah. No, I think you try to hurt him. And I think Mike Vrabel respects it.
Yes.
You put him on his back and he's gasping for air and he's, I got one here.
Patriots coach undergoes knee surgery after scouting accident.
Oh, man.
You see,
doesn't mean he's working out with the players and everything. He's in there in the way, doing workouts with them. So he's big, active, doing stuff.
It's got to get you real close. The unity in New England.
they could have pretty easily played off, him injuring the coach as like, oh, Mike Vrabel got hurt during training. He was lifting some weights, pulled something. Yeah, he's okay. Oh man.
Yeah, Kadyn Proctor, you just need to stay out of trouble, buddy, and not get, crazy fat. Just do the right thing, my friend.
There's a lot of money shortage of good quality NFL offensive linemen right now.
There's a lot of money in front of you, Kadyn.
Nobody wants to be a lineman anymore.
Nah, that's the truth.
Everybody wants to be a receiver.
Sad day. All right, so going back to this 2026, when we're using Dalton Wasserman of Pro Football Focus, he puts out his mock draft for 2026, and we're really just using this to look at the Alabama roster.
I think we need to print it out and put it behind us, then revisit it in exactly a year, and then just cook him when he's wrong.
I'm not against that. I'm not against that. What do you think here? We got 2 more Alabama guys in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And this surprised me a little bit that it was only 2. One, not that it was only 2, but it was these 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 22, Deontay Lawson to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now, Mason, I'm going to shut up because every time Deontay Lawson gets brought up, I talk about a fearful knee injury. Why would this make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think it may. I think we've seen very high level play from Deontay Lawson. Again, it's been in flashes, but the injury, I think, is his biggest knock, really. So if he can show this year that, the injury is not a concern, I would imagine we get more high-level play from him like we've seen previously. And that high-level play, should, with carrying the Alabama name behind you, is going to hold a lot of weight in the NFL. So I certainly could see him as a first-round pick. The Bucks miss out on Jahad Campbell. Maybe they go get his counterpart from Alabama in the next year's draft.
Last one here on the list is at 24 overall. Now, this doesn't make sense because of LT Overton has a good year to where he's a first round draft pick. He's not getting picked at 24. That means that he capitalized on those almost sacks that he got last year, and he's probably got 8 to 12, 8 to 15 sacks under his belt. I think the Commanders would not be taking him at 24, but you're probably taking him at 12, at 8, LT Overton.
Yeah, this is one that, again, just the placement kind of surprised me because, if you are drinking the Kool-Aid that he is going to play well this year and get the numbers that he almost got last year and actually finish those plays off, then, positional value would tell you that being an edge rusher, the NFL is going to take him a little higher than 24. So, while I do think he could be a first-round pick, I agree with you. I don't know that 24 would really be his range if he were to play up to first-round pick level. He will be picked higher than that just because of edge rusher value.
Now, why the heck is Damani Jackson not on this list?
Shocking. That's very strange. And I'm not even really thought that. I just said it.
I'm going over to this conglomerate list of Blake Byler put a conglomerate together of a bunch of pre-draft mock drafts for 2026 for Bama Online. Appreciate you doing that, Blake. And again, the names that we just mentioned, Josh Edwards, Blake Bockenmeyer, Michael Middlehurst, all those guys. Only one, Michael Middlehurst, not Sobelski, not Belbeck, not Pope Joy, not only one of those guys had Damani as a first-round pick.
That's really strange to me. I really don't even have an explanation for it. I don't think that
they're clouded by his time at SC.
Yeah, I don't think that you and I are super hardcore drinking the Crimson Kool-Aid, wearing the crimson glasses, talking Damani up. He genuinely was extremely impressive last season, and he's given us no reason to think he won't only get better this year. So I don't understand. I would have, if he had left for the draft last year, I think he would have been a day 2 pick, day 3, early day 3 pick. So to think that returning to school, he's not going to at least get a little better is a little strange to me. I would expect him to be a solidified first round selection, if not one of the top overall corner in the class.
Yeah, it makes me think about how we thought about Kool-Aid and Terrion. Kool-Aid and one of them was the late first, and the other was the second. Which
Kool-Aid
one
was late first. Terrion went second.
I think that's right.
I think it was the Saints in the early 20s or something, and the Lions took Terrion. Yeah. So did they both?
Opposite.
Yeah, it was opposite. So yeah.
It was Terrion a late first round, and the Saints early second. I thought. I don't know if he's as good as Terry Arnold.
No, and honestly, I don't watch any Saints games. I haven't kept tabs on Kool-Aid.
I don't watch the Saints either. They're not worth my time.
I will watch. I watch Terrian because he comes on my TV on Thursday Night Football more often, and I get to see him play. I'm not going out of my way to watch Lions games, but when they hit the prime time, I'll certainly tune it in. Saints need to get them a quarterback.
So 2 other Alabama players on this conglomerate list. Who are they, Mason Woods? Who's missing? From Michael Middlehurst has 2 more players. Michael Middlehurst has 1. Michael Middlehurst has 1, and Brent Sobelski has the other. It is not Ty Simpson.
Jeremy Bernard.
It is not Jeremy
Really?
Bernard.
Wow.
One more guess, and I'll spill the beans. He's thinking, we've already got LT Overton. We've already got Damani listed on several of these. We've done the Kadyn Proctor #1 overall.
Yeah, I don't.
2
Parker
more.
Brailsford?
No.
Golly.
All right. The other 2 listed. Brent Sobelski has Jaden Roberts going 17 overall to the Houston Texans, according to his chart. He's got Sobelski, Proctor at 5, Roberts at 17, Lawson at 21, and Overton at 28. And then our other friend, where was it? Right there. Michael Middlehurst has Keon Sabb at 25. Michael Middlehurst has Kadyn Proctor 4, LT Overton 17, Damani Jackson 19, and Keon Sabb 25. And I actually like that the best.
Sabb popped into my head, but I went Brailsford because I was like, surely Brailsford's on this list somewhere.
You're going to lose positional value at center, and then Middlehurst is right. I'm sorry, Deontay Lawson. They're not going to value inside line. We just saw the #1 inside linebacker on the board went 31 overall. Had to get traded back into to get him. Jihad was about to slip in the second round. Like, I don't mean to break your hearts or be mean about it. He was literally, he was 10 minutes away from slipping into the second round. And that would have been wrong. I would have made a big deal of it. But, like, that's just where the NFL is on inside linebackers right now. I think Middlehurst Schwartz from USA Today is right, with Proctor in the top 5, Overton in the top 20. I think he's going to be a little higher. Damani in the top 20, and then Sabb at 25. I'm sorry, Sobelski. I don't see Jaden Roberts as a first rounder because of the guard issue.
You ever look at mockdraftdatabase.com?
Give it to
my
me.
favorite websites. It just puts together all these, very similar to what you're looking at, but puts together all these mock. You can look. And it looks like other people at least are respecting Damani Jackson, so that we can take some solace in. I don't think we're crazy. But it's just it seems like the respect for him is maybe not quite what we thought it was. Now, some of these guys, I'm seeing some of these from, now these are old. Never mind. So the most recent mock drafts on here, early, mid first to all the way down to a third round.
All right. So if I gave you $100 and said you have to pick 3 guys to go in the first round, and they have to, if they go in the first, you get your $100 back. You go and we're teaming up and going Kadyn Proctor,
Damani Jackson. I'm doing it,
and I'm going LT Overton.
Yeah, I think those are the 3. Because it's not only good players, but it's positional value with the 3 of them: cornerback, left tackle, and edge rusher.
Does that get you excited for 2025?
Yes, it does. Considering you barely had 2 first-round draft picks at non-premium positions this past season, you may have 3 at premium positions going into this year. And honestly, you might have more. I think if Jeremy has a big year, it wouldn't shock me to see him sneak into the first round as a receiver. NFL loves drafting receivers. You get a run on those guys, it could happen.
The wide receivers in Wasserman's mock draft: Jordan Tyson, Arizona State. Who else is he competing with? Let's go. Eric Singleton Jr. from Georgia Tech. And Denzel Boston from Washington. Those are the 3 first-round wide receivers in his list. Don't know much about those 3 guys, so I'm not going to say if Jeremy's better or worse than them.
Not familiar with any of them. Eric Singleton, I know the name. That's about it.
So what else stands out to me in this list is Caleb Downs, number 3 overall to the Tennessee Titans.
Hey, love that.
They're
picking 3, but I'll take it. It's okay. You can get a bad year with a rookie quarterback. It's cool. So if it means Caleb Downs.
And I see Peter Woods, edge rusher, 9 overall to the Dallas Cowboys. And no, Peter Woods was never an Alabama player. But, man, he was so close to committing to Dallas. Oh, so close. I'm just saying, imagine this roster. You retain Caleb Downs, and you got Peter Woods in recruiting, and now you're flirting with 5 first-round draft picks.
And maybe you're also throwing Julian Sayin out there to be your quarterback. So many players you could think about retaining in this roster would look a lot different. Now, I do feel good about it, but man, some of the names that have been that have transferred out or not even come in the first place in Peter Woods' case.
Yeah, I was so close to getting him. Drives me nuts. All right, Mason, we are about halfway through. Let me tell our friends about Warren Tire and Auto.
So my name is Russ Warren, and I'm one of the owners here at Warren Tire. We started in 1961. My granddad on University Boulevard, so we've been kind of a staple here in the Tuscaloosa and the University of Alabama community since then. And so thankful to be in the third generation. And we have 2 locations now in Tuscaloosa. We're right here at the 15th Street location right now, where we just do tires, brakes, and alignments mostly here. Our university location does oil changes, engine work, air conditioning work, front end work, the whole 9 yards. And so any of our 2 locations, you can come check us out.
We got a comment here on the Twitter machine, Mason, from our friend JRB3. Says, have these mocks lost their minds? Has Kadyn Proctor played like a number 1 overall pick yet? No.
Does he have the build and potential of one? Yes.
Yeah,
and
I think so
does
too.
the NFL draft on build and potential a lot? Yes, they do.
We can coach him up. We can make it work.
So some offensive line coach, I got him. That's my guy. He'll stand on the table. Some scout will, beat their chest for him. And that's not me saying that I think he'll be a bad NFL player or anything. We've just not seen that level of play yet. He might prove us wrong this year. He might make me look stupid. I hope he does.
All right, let's circle back to one more thing before we move to Darian Reed and Darian Reed and LeBaron Philon. We were flirting about quarterbacks. Which guy is going to be Mel's quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
But look at this class one more over again. Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier, Kate Klubnik, Sam Love at Arizona State, Drew Aller, Penn State. Look at the other side of this list. Nobody else. Oh, yeah, Lenore Sellers. Lenore Sellers was on the other side, was on the 26 side. Where's Ty Simpson fit with this group? Can he get in this group? Can he get it? Come on. Drew Aller's not that good. Sam Levitt.
I agree with you. I don't think they are either. But
because we got to get.
We're a bit naive if we're sitting here and not expecting scouts or not scouts. Scouts won't lead you wrong, but analysts and draft folks alike to hype this up as they're going to call this like the greatest quarterback class ever.
Absolutely,
you've got like 4 6'4+ pocket passers right there. They're going to hype this up. We've never seen a collection of talent like. But in reality, I'm not overly impressed by any of these guys. I mean, Arch Manning could be there. You see it in small flashes at Texas, but he's really not asked to do much there other than come in garbage time and handle some things. So he could play himself into that, surefire, like this is the top quarterback role.
Praise the Lord for Caleb Williams.
But yeah, I'm not. No, this is we're looking at another bad quarterback class yet again.
Well, that's not what they're saying. They're saying this is much better than last year's class, than the 2025 class.
I wonder why.
I do think it is better. I do think it's better, but I don't think it's so strong, and this is what I was trying to get at. I don't think it's so strong that Ty Simpson cannot get into this group. Come on, Lenore Sellers. He's athletic, yes.
He's pretty electric last year.
Yeah. I don't really know where I want to go with this, but I don't see Ty being better than Arch.
I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to pass Arch, Garrett, or Klubnik.
Now Klubnik, no, because I think Klubnik's really going to operate the Clemson system very well. I think Garrett Nussmeier is a paper tiger. I don't think he's that. I think his brain is very, very, very sharp, but I don't think that physically he's got the goods.
He feels like Sam Darnold to me.
Oh, yeah,
a little bit. And
opposite.
He's just gonna do dumb things. Like people are just going to ignore. Yeah, he throws a lot of interceptions. Yeah, he throws a lot of bad passes. But then be like, well, he does some things really good. He's tall. He reads the field. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold had all the physical gifts, but his brain was mush. He turned the ball over like crazy at SC. Garrett He had a great year last year until really the last month of the year,
Yeah.
until it started to catch up with him. And I think that's because Kane Womack put him in the washing machine cycle with
He
all
did.
those blitzes, and really started to mess with his eyes. And I think you saw what the knock is going to be. If you can confuse him and get to him, then physically,
Yeah.
I don't think that Garrett Nussmeier can physically rise above. Oh crap! Got to get it out.
Yeah.
I think
No,
Garrett
okay.
Nussmeier
Yeah.
operates best, and I know what the progression is. 1, 2, 3, ball is out. I think he's good at that. But I'm not sure if he's physically gifted enough to really be an NFL superstar. I think Ty Simpson's physicality is just as good as his, honestly. I think Garrett Nussmeier's brain's probably a lot sharper than Ty's is at the moment, given the experience gap. I think Drew Aller's all physical tools, though. No brain.
Teams are gonna lose their mind.
No
over him.
no.
Oh, they're gonna love Drew Allen. Josh Allen.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We need to put the mock drafts away. We need to look forward to 2025. We will do that all together. Mason, let's turn our attention, though, to college basketball. Bad news yesterday with Darian Reed. Well, now we knew Darian was transferring, but didn't transfer to Georgia like I had predicted. So I'll own that. Darian Reed ends up transferring to Oklahoma. Porter Moser, great job. I bet you Porter Moser paid that young man a lot.
Yeah, I would think so. It's a good pickup for him. Hey, if you can get him to play defense, good on you. I saw a lot of Alabama fans like really, really upset about this and being like, "Oh, man, we knew he was transferring. Whatever. He got it. I'm sure he got, like you said, I'm sure he got a pretty good paycheck to go. Oklahoma was not really much of a threat this year. They were kind of up and down. They had some good games here and there, but overall not too great. I don't know exactly what they're building for next season. I do think Porter Moser's a good coach, but I wouldn't really put too much stock into this. Similar to what you maybe had said would happen if he went to Georgia, where it's just going to be like, all right, buddy, go play. I think that's kind of what they're going to do at Oklahoma. And I don't know that that's a recipe for winning games as much of it's a recipe for getting Darian Reed to be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, it's going to make Darian happy, but I'm not really sure if that's best for even everyone, even you, Darian. I'm sorry, but I would say that someone needs to be, giving you the rod just a little bit, not abusive, but just keeping you going.
You might score 25 a game or whatever, but how efficient is that 25 going to be? And are you going to be playing defense? Are you going to be helping your team in other ways? I don't know, because I do think the NBA does watch for those things.
All right, so Darian Reed gone. That's just a little maintenance. Goodbye. We'll see you next year.
I mean, basically, he doesn't even really have to get any new gear or anything. It's the same colors.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Probably wear the same shoes.
So let's move to the other small basketball story. LeBaron Philon joins the Schultz show and he was asked if is there even a chance that he could go back to Alabama? Is that on the table? Philon's response, I would say 100% draft, but things can change. You never know, but I would say I love Bama, the whole program, the school, the state. It was all love when I was playing there. Never received any hatred or anything like that. Walking around school, being a regular kid was mostly the most fun part to me. I'll never take that for granted, but I'm all in on the draft right now because I felt like I want to be a pro. You never know what can happen. We'll just have to wait and see.
I feel like, no, go ahead. This feels like, if Alabama comes through with a giant offer, maybe I'll come back, but otherwise I'm out.
That combined with whatever feedback I'm about to get, I'm sure that once he hears, 22, 23, he's going to reconsider his decision, but I think he's gone.
It does sound like he is kind of like okay with, you know what? Hey, I might be a later round guy. I'm just going to have to work my way up there. I just want to get to the league. Kind of seems like he maybe has that attitude.
Just like J.D. Davison.
Just like it. And, hey, see how it's working well for him. It took him a little bit, but hey, G League MVP this year.
JD.
He signed didn't he sign a regular contract with the Celtics or like an extension or something like that?
I think they extended his two-way option so he could help them in the postseason is what I believe I remember reading.
So, yeah, good on him. Oh, okay. JD, a standard 2-year deal, converted his 2-way contract to a standard NBA deal.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what makes him eligible for the playoffs. I guess you have to have a standard deal to be eligible. You can't be on a 2-way. I guess. At least that's the AI overview. So take that with a massive grain of salt. Golly, I don't know. Again, I don't know if these numbers are right. His base salary, what do you think it is?
JD's 22.
$11,000
Oh.
with a cap hit of $2 million. It says so. I'm guessing this is like signing bonus. He's getting a ton of money.
Oh yeah. Okay, yes.
But like, man, that's just crazy how that works. Manipulating money in the NBA is wild.
Yeah, so he's really making.
Yeah, he's only made $61,000 since he's been in the league. Career earnings, according to Spotrac, whatever,
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
It says his 2-year, okay, here we go. I'm looking at guarantee. Okay. JD said 2-year, $2.2 million contract. That was his most, including $11 million, $11,000 guaranteed.
Right.
Annual salary of $1.1 million. In 2024, Davison will earn a base salary of $11,997 while carrying a cap hit of $11,997 and a dead guy. I don't know. I don't know enough about NBA contracts to know how this works, I guess. It looks like they just backloaded his 2-year deal, and this year he's making next to nothing, and next year he will be making $2 million, which is the majority of this 2-year deal he signed.
Wow.
And then he's an undrafted, an unrestricted free agent after that. Take your talents to somewhere that's not Boston because they're using you wrong.
Wow.
That's really strange. That's really crazy.
This has got to be not correct.
Can't be right.
It's got to be some sort of designation between G League and NBA. In my guess,
you might be right.
There's got to be a designation, I'm sure, because right here he's got in 2023 NBA Cup. It makes $50,000 for being part of that team. I think that this is probably broken into roster time on the NBA. In the NBA,
might be.
Would be my guess. Sweet. So
LeBaron, do you really want to do this, LeBaron? I guess is the moral of this story. Is this what you really would like to do?
Of course you do.
Or do you want to make pretty much that same amount of money where you get to be the star of the show and then maybe you get to go be a big time first round pick?
And we love it. We love you, LeBaron. We love you a lot more than any NBA franchise will love you. I'll tell you that right now. They're just going to use you as a commodity. Come on, LeBaron. Come on, use your sentiment. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so I don't have much more on the basketball other than Darian and LeBaron. Just ancillary, I had this thought hit me the other day. I'm not sure that Alabama is going to be as good in basketball this coming season. And maybe that's a good thing to have a lower expectation. But I really wasn't thinking that much in depth. Mm-hmm. But this was middle of the day yesterday, I guess right after the Darian news. And I'm thinking, yeah, probably need to expect, and this may be a totally ignorant statement because, like I said, I haven't really thought this through.
Yeah.
I thought, maybe need to expect a 3rd, 4th place finish in the SEC again next year and just try to make a deep run. I don't know. You're not getting Rylan Griffin yet. I mean, he could, but so far.
He was here, 3-4 days ago, I think he was in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
On a visit.
And apparently, I guess, I don't want to say it went well or it went bad because I don't know, but you would think, Rylan, do you really need to visit? You would think you know what's up here. You know what the program's like. If you want to jump on board, you can. My outside feeling is I wonder if the Nate Oates discount I wonder if the market has moved on over the last year past the Nate Oates discount a little bit.
Possibly. I do really like this signing class you're bringing in. You got 2 guys who are, not both 6'8" and 6'7", and Amari Allen and London Jemison, who are both really athletic kind of wing players. I think can make some things happen. Now, they're not the 6'10" freaks like we would all love to have 5 of, but I do think both of them can be really high quality players. But yeah, I don't know that necessarily the option is going to be championship or bust this year. I wouldn't say, I don't know. it's hard. I guess Alabama not being as good as like, oh, are they going to get beat in the Sweet 16? So I don't really know
I've got the
exactly
easy
where they're
position
going to
here.
be.
I've got the easy position. Oh yeah, they're not going to be top 6 team in the country.
They probably won't be. But I do like what they're bringing
Go
in.
out on a limb there, Joe.
Once you get down to it, they'll be in the tournament, obviously. Once you get down to the tournament, anything can happen. And they'll probably be a 7 seed or higher, a 6 seed or higher, if I had to guess. So, you feel pretty decent about that path, maybe.
Absolutely. So we've had a lot of fun here in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. We're live off the McFarland Boulevard. You can call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Call Derek. Red, Reese, and Victoria are upstairs. They would love to talk to you. They would love to talk to you about your auto insurance, your homeowner's insurance, maybe renter's insurance, life insurance, really everything in the insurance game. They've got you taken care of. Call them at 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. All right, you want to go off the rails just a little bit, Mason, with our last little bit?
Sure.
The internet has gone crazy over this hypothetical situation. 100 unarmed men against one gorilla. A fight to the death. Now, I invited some of my friends to call on the voicemail line because we went into this pretty heavily the last 2 days.
Sure.
And my friends have even spun it into, we don't think, my friends think that we don't need 100 men, that the 11 of us can kill this gorilla with precision, teamwork, and dedication. And I, as respectfully as I possibly could, which probably wasn't very respectfully, said we're all going to die in this scenario. So, Mason, I'm just going to get out of the way. I'll let you take both scenarios, 100 versus 1, and 11 versus 1. I do have a voicemail from one of my from one of my friends. We'll find out what he has to say. You guys can call the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. If you want to talk about this, the NFL draft, college basketball, or anything under the sun. Mason Woods, you're a part of the 100-man army. Are y'all defeating the gorilla?
No. Good God, no. It's even more ridiculous to think, we don't even need that. We could take it with. That's insane. That gorilla is going to rip one of these. That gorilla could rip a human man into 2 pieces. He could make you. The bottom half and the top half, he could separate them with his arms. That is how strong these animals are. They are 10 times the strength of an average human, and they weigh 200 pounds more than you, at least. You're insane. What is a gorilla? 7 feet tall, 6.5, 7 feet tall, standing up. It's like, it's ridiculous. He has teeth that could rip anything you're wearing off. He rip any piece of skin from your body. It's insane. Are you going to get in there and stop him after he rips the first 3 of you in half, after he rips your buddy's arms off and then beats the other buddy to death with those arms?
All right, the average Western gorilla is listed here. Now
I think we got to go silverback.
Okay, all right. So
I did ask ChatGPT before we started recording, and it said, in almost all scenarios, 100 men will win, but there has to be significant qualifications.
Silverback, the average typically stand between 4'11" and 5'11".
Okay, so shorter than I thought.
And then 300 to 430. 300 pounds to 430 pounds. Arm span ranging from 2.5 to 2.6 meters. What is that in? Come on, guys.
What are we doing?
Come on,
AI. We're dumb Americans.
We need inches. We need feet. Wingspan. Okay. What is that into feet? 2.3 meters.
8.5 feet.
Are you serious? 2.3 meters is
8.6
meters. Is 2.5 yards. So meters to feet is. Are you freaking kidding me? 2.3 meters is 7.5 feet. So
he's got Victor Wembanyama's wingspan.
That's the biggest issue to me. I understand numbers over ants. We can overwhelm you, but it's the wingspan. People, my friends have gone on about, oh, it's not that tall. We can jump on its back. We can take it down. Like we're taller than it. Sure, but the wingspan is the issue. Like, have you ever rushed an NFL left tackle? No, you have not. But when I stand next to Kadyn Proctor, who will be an NFL left tackle, if Kadyn Proctor stuck his arms out at me, which he never has, he's a nice young man, he never has, but if he stuck his arms out at me, I am not getting close to him. I'm never breaching the gap between his hand and his chest. That arm length is keeping me from getting to any vital region of Kadyn Proctor's body, right? And he's just got nice feet. Kadyn's got nice feet, right? And Kadyn's just going to keep everybody away. And every time he swipes at me, he's going to break my face.
And you know what he's not allowed to do? Grab you by the jersey and throw you 30 feet behind him like this gorilla could do to you. It's insane. It is insane. The only, I guess, in an enclosed space where he can't move around too well, maybe you can
that's
corner
even
him.
worse for you, because if he's cornered, it is just explosive city.
Yes.
Everybody.
I mean, he's going to get over 100. That's I probably give it to you. If he's got space to move around and get a little distance, he's just bouncing around and just picking. For anybody that plays Overwatch, he is like doing the Winston, just bouncing around and killing you one at a time. He's gonna take out, slam your heads together, smash your skulls, and jump over to the next group. Like, you have no way to stop him.
That's the problem. It's like, we'll just gouge its eyes out. We'll just
you will not
grab its nether regions. We'll just bite it. One of my friends said, we just bite its neck. It's like, bro,
you will not. I saw it yesterday. It was a whatever article about. It was not specifically about this, but it was about humans and gorillas. And this person who's much smarter than I, who gets paid to write about these kinds of things and research them, said very plainly, a man could not do any meaningful damage to a gorilla.
Some online discussion suggests that gorilla hide might be as thick as 6 inches.
You getting through that? Chonk, 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 chonk. Come on, buddy. Like, you complained that your steak was too tough last night. What are we doing? Folks? You're going to bite through 6 inches of gorilla leather?
All right, let's hear this voicemail. You guys can be on the voicemail line, 205-462-7340, extension 800. Mason, when it ends, I'm not going to say anything. You just react, because I'm pretty sure my friend's about to say that 11 of us can kill a gorilla.
Hey, long-time caller and long-time listener. I'm just calling about this gorilla versus men debate. There is no question. All it takes is 10 average men to beat a gorilla. We are smarter than them. The power of numbers around it would be too overwhelming. Yeah, they're stronger. Yeah, there may be some casualties, but still 10 average men that are capable and would work together would be able to take on a gorilla. Any other notion that is ridiculous, and people are just plain wrong. Human beings are the superior species, and we will always be that way, and we will put the gorillas in their place. That is all. Roll Tide.
When you go out into the forest, if you're an unarmed man, who's the alpha predator there? Is it a grizzly bear that's in the forest? I believe it to be, yes. Humans are the superior because we have guns and we have tools and we have we are not superior because of our physicality over any other species. You're insane. That's a stupid thing to say. Like, you step out there with your unarmed buddy, you're in their realm. People have this weird we're smart. Like, no, you're not. You're not smarter than a gorilla in his territory. He knows more about that than you do. That's his world. You swim out into the ocean. Those sharks know more about the water than you do. Like, smart is relative in this situation here. Just because I can read a book, that's not going to stop me from getting my face ripped off by a gorilla. It's insane. My intellect has nothing to do with this argument. That gorilla is making short work of all 10 of you. The fact that you even concede, sure, there might be some casualties, that's even worse, because the moment any of those 10 go down, your chances drop dramatically. It's insane. This is an insane argument. Like I will listen to the argument on 100 people. 100 people, like that's a lot of people. That is a lot of human men.
But
That's
what
a lot
happens
of
to the
weight.
human? What happens to the intestinal fortitude of the other 97 when the first three just Charlie just got his face.
I think we
eaten.
have to just look at this in like perfect scenario. Everyone here is, or like World War II. Everyone is pervitined out, and we're ready to fight with zero regard for our own body here. We've got everybody like methed up in the zoo cage or something. That's what it is here. I think we have to take that part out of it just to have this like the most bare bones part of this discussion. Like I'll give you the argument with 100 men. I will give you that argument. I'm not going to agree with you. You certainly are incorrect about 10.
Okay, so if it's 100, how many die? 55?
Oh, yeah, I think you're losing 20 to 30 minimum. Because my big thing with the 100 is like, there's not enough. We just said it. 5.5 feet tall at his tallest, 375, 400 pounds. He's not that big. There's not that much room for 100 men to be attacking him at once. Mm-hmm. You're only getting 8 to 10 of you on him at once, maybe 15 if you're lucky. So he's gonna run through probably 3, 4, 5 groups of 8 to 10 people before he even starts to get like a little tuckered out. Now I don't know, what gorilla diet looks like, what their kind of stamina and everything is, but I've seen them in zoos. They move around pretty well when they get active. And yeah, no, I think you're losing at least half of that 100, at least.
Yeah.
Because it's making quick work of it's just taking you down.
That's the issue.
Dunk, dunk, dunk. It's just taking you out in groups.
Like I like myself, but we're soft people. Like you talk about 100 people, it's like, brother, I can go out on a run right now and be okay, be a semi-decent athlete, but like life and death situation, I'm probably going to die.
What do you think? Like, what are you going to do to that gorilla?
It doesn't it doesn't make me a superhuman athlete just to throw me into a life and death. Oh, Joe, it's life and death now. So now you can run a mile in 4 minutes. Yeah, no, you can't. You still run a mile in 8-9 minutes.
You're gonna punch that thing, and it's gonna feel like hitting a medicine ball.
Right?
You're gonna choke the gorilla out, throw him in a rear neck. Like you can't get your arms around his neck. It's insane.
Nuts.
There's no way. There's the only reason humans are the alpha is because of weapons. We are not more physically imposing than any other of these, big time species out there. Any of the lions, bears, tigers, whatever. Yeah, we are not more. We are not winning the physical battle there.
So this has been a fun internet topic for the last 2 days, and I just felt like we had to get into it. One of my friends asked me, he goes, well, don't you think you can take down 10 50-pound dogs? That's about the size equivalent. Like,
I do not.
Like, don't you think that the 10 dogs would win, Joe? And I'm like, yeah, I do think the 10 dogs will win. And they go, well, we're the 10 dogs in this situation. And I'm like, no, we are not. My dog, Abby, bites the ever-loving mess out of whatever she wants to bite. And, like, she's very cute and sweet and great. But, like, if she decides that she's going to bite the toy, let me tell you, I can try my hardest to pull that toy out of her mouth. It's not happening. I have to basically just say, hey, sister, let go, and convince her.
That dog can bite through your arm.
I cannot
with
bite
ease.
I can't bite anything.
Yes, it's insane. It is not a even remotely comparable thing right there. The tools that these animals have at their disposal to kill things, the dexterity in their fingers, claws, teeth, whatever it is. Humans do not have that. We are soft because we have been made soft by having tools that do those things for us.
Like, I think about my dog in this situation, and it's like when she gets onto something, when she gets like her mind set, it doesn't matter if I beat her. I'm not saying I do, but it doesn't matter if it's hot outside. It doesn't matter if it's tired or like she has no concept of her own physical well-being. Yeah. She has no concept of pain when she is locked in on something. When it is, I'm going to do this. And you just sit back and watch. Like, that's what we're talking about here. You talk about, I'm going to punch this gorilla here. That gorilla has zero concept of pain. It is instinct. The instinct is, these 100 men are attacking me. I am in danger. fight or flight. I don't have a flight gene, gorilla. It is fight, fight, fight. Like us humans, we cannot even fathom going there.
No.
Like as soon as I get my arm cut, darn.
Give me a paper towel.
All right, exactly. Like it's insane.
It's ridiculous. It is truly a ridiculous query. I'm not going out.
Have you ever ripped open a phone book? Have you ever ripped a phone book in half?
No.
Me either. I've seen it done by those really, really strong guys, but like they're like 800 pounds. And
like, guys are, break baseball bats. Like, okay, you can get your hands around a baseball bat. You can't get your hands around the forearm of a gorilla.
My friend said, well, you'll just grab one arm, the other will grab
an arm bar.
Grab the other arm. The other guy will grab a leg. The other guy will grab a leg. One guy will grab a neck. The other guy will go for the eyes. And it's like, dude, you don't realize I am not getting close to that right arm. Like, I will try. Sure, I'll be team player. I'll try. But swamp.
That's a 40-pound sack of meat flying at your head.
You think Kadyn Proctor, like, again, do you think Kadyn Proctor would just let me grab his right arm? No. And now we're talking about a right arm that is, sorry, Cade, but much stronger than Kadyn Proctor's right arm and much more explosive.
Yeah, it's just insane. There's no. I'm not messing with nature, man. I'm not doing it.
This is why weapons were invented.
Yeah, if we were truly the alpha dog here, we wouldn't need guns to go out hunting. We'd be doing it with our bare hands. There's a reason we don't do that though, because those animals and things are much more equipped at doing that than us.
All right. Well, we had a lot of fun. We had fun yesterday with Dax's voicemail. We had fun right there with my friend's voicemail. You can leave us a voicemail at 205-462-7340, extension 800 if you want to be a part of the show, if you want to talk about baseball, basketball, football, really anything under the sun, gorillas or humans. We don't mind. We'll take whatever voicemails that you have at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Mason? It's about the extent of my list. You got anything else for the people before we get out of here?
No. Get ready for Cam Ward to win a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Cam Ward, tighten up. He looks at Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur says, you want to go do something, make a song or something? And he goes, I don't want to make music.
I play football.
I want people, when they type in Cam Ward, it to say football player.
Love it.
We love that. I think that, got yourself a little dog.
Project, but I think they got him one, maybe.
A hungry one.
Yeah.
And that's that. You can work with that. You can work with hunger. We'll get out of here for the day. Follow us at Bama Central, at MAWoods _ at Joe Gaither 6. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon. Find us on the Bama Central YouTube channel. We'll talk to you again tomorrow right here from the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither 6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.